Okay.
So, in today class, we'll talk about the concept of factorials.
Okay.
Okay, so like when we talk about factorial, so basically, like if I say n factorial, if I'm saying n factorial, one minute. If I'm saying n factorial, so n factorial basically means n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3. This you will do till 1. So 3 into 2 into 1. So if I'm asking you what is 5 factorial, 5 factorial means 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. This is
Mm-hmm.
fact.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So in the concept of factorial, you should know a few values. Like you should know that 0 factorial means 1. 0 factorial means 1. Why 1? I'll tell you that. So 0 factorial means 1. 1 factorial uh, means 1. Then 2 factorial is 2. 2 into 1. 3
Mm-hmm.
factorial means 3 into 2 into 1 means 6. Then 4 factorial means 4 into 3 into 2 into 1
Two into
is
one.
24. Then 5 factorial means 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 means 120. 6 factorial means 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 1. So factorial is 720. You can say 6 factorial is nothing but 6 factorial is 6 into 5 factorial. So
Mm-hmm.
5 factorial is 120. So the 6 factorial will be 720. You can say 6 factorial means 6 into 5 into 4 factorial. So 6 into 5 is 30 and 4 factorial is 24. So 30 into 24 you'll get 720.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So these you have to remember these values. You have to remember these values. When I say 7 factorial means 5040. When I say 8 factorial, that is 40320. When I say 9 factorial, that is 362880. 10 factorial would be 362880.
Doubles. Okay.
Because into 10.
Yeah. You just multiply the last thing
Yeah,
by 10.
yeah. So you multiply the last thing with 10. So you have to remember these values. So
Mm-hmm.
this is very important. You have to in exam and while working on mathematics, every time you can't go and see these values.
Yeah.
So you should know these values. What that mean. So the moment you see, you should get that part in your brain. So that is something which we need to work on. So just a kind of quick revision. So 10, like 10 factorial is 36288. The
Zero, zero. Mm-hmm.
If I'm asking you 11 factorial, so 11 factorial is nothing but 11 into 10 factorial.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 11 into 3628800. If I'm asking you this value, so
Yeah.
you can apply Vedic maths to get this. Just a revision that any number, if you want to multiply with 11, so how to get that value fast? So first write down the first digit. The first digit is 3. Then you start adding the digits. So 3 plus 6, that is 9. 3 plus 6, that is 9. Then 9 plus 2, that is 6 plus 2, that is 8. Then 2 plus 8, that is 10.
Mm-hmm.
Write like this. Then 8 plus 8, that is 16.
16.
Write like this. Then 8 plus 0, that is 8. Then 0 plus 0, that is 0. And then last digit is 0. So your
Mm-hmm.
answer of 11 factorial will be 008611993. This would be your 11 factorial.
Oh. Okay.
So
Oh, yeah.
just
Mm-hmm.
just kind of revision that whenever you multiply any number with 11, so this like
You can
this.
do that for any numbers too.
Sorry.
You can do that for any number.
Yeah, you can do for any number. Any number.
Okay.
Not any number means 11. Any number.
Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm.
11 into anything. 11 to 9, 11 to 98763. So what is the value? The value is 9. 9 plus 8 is 17. then 8 plus 7 is 15, then 7 plus 6 is 13, then 6 plus 3 is 9, and then the last
And 3.
3.
Mhm.
So your answer is 39368110. This is the answer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this uh, this is you can work on. This is the application of Vedic maths. So
Mhm.
application of Vedic maths, and like this you can keep in mind. Anyway, I will not drag with from our topic. So this is what we need to talk about. So these values, you should know about these values. So what we are going through, we are talking about in this session, we are talking about the concept of factorials. So in this,
Yeah.
we are talking about the concept of factorials. So right now, I'm just talking about the mathematical part of this. So
Okay.
like logical interpretation of this, we'll discuss gradually. Right now, we're talking about only the mathematical part of it. So you understood this. Now, next thing can come in mind of the students. So like how 0 factorial is 1. So you in YouTube and all, you'll see a lot of videos why 0 factorial is 1. A lot of explanation is given for that. So I can
Mhm.
talk about my explanation, that you know that n factorial is n into n minus 1 factorial.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So 1 factorial would be 1 into 0 factorial. Now, so
Right.
0
Yeah.
factorial will be equal to 1 factorial by 1.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 factorial is 1 and 1 is 1. So 0 factorial is 1.
Yeah. Okay.
So that way you can explain. So like it's like in how many ways can you make 0% to sit in 0 place? So that is one way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So imagine 0 exists. Assume that 0 exists. So in how many ways can you make 0% to sit in 0 places? So that is only one way. So so you understand this. Now next thing to work on here is that if you notice these values, if you notice these values, you need to understand here that from 0 factorial to 4 factorial, from 0 factorial to 4 factorial, none of the number are ending with 0. You can
Yeah.
from 0 factorial to 4 factorial, none of the number are ending with 0. And from 5 factorial to any number, any n factorial, from 5 factorial to any n factorial, all the number will end with 0.
0. Mm-hmm.
You can understand that from, if I talk about here, so from 0 factorial, so from 0 factorial to 4 factorial, so all the number ending with no 0, and from 5 factorial to any n factorial, they will end with 0.
0.
Will end
Mm-hmm.
with 0. So the reason for this is that you get a 0, whenever the 5 is multiplied with 2. So the
Yeah.
reason is that you get a 0 whenever 5 is multiplied with 2. And you know that whenever you write n factorial, so whenever you're writing n factorial, and so every alternate number will be even number. Every
Mm-hmm.
alternate, like you're doing -1 like that. So every alternate number, they will be even number. So there will be abundance of 2. So when you want to count the number of zeros, so you need to make sure how many fives are multiplying with 2. So when you're
Yeah.
working on how many fives are multiplying with 2, so you need to understand there is an abundance of 0 in n factorial. So in order to count the number of zeros, you need to count how many fives are there. You need to count how many
How
fives
many 5s? Mm-hmm.
are there. So if you can count how many fives are there, you can get how many zeros are there.
Oh, so if there's like 4 5s, then there's 4 zeros.
Yeah. So you need to understand how many fives come, that many zeros are there. Like if I ask you something like, suppose if I ask you 37 factorial, so 37 factorial end with how many zeros? So if I ask you 37 factorial end with how many
7.
zeros? So if I ask you how many zeros, so this the answer for this, the answer is not 7.
Oh yeah, it's not 7.
So end with how many?
Yeah.
Tell you how many zeros. So you need to count how many fives are there. So how many fives? So 5 will come either at 35, either at 30, either at 25, either at 20. You understand? Either
Yeah.
15 or 10 or 5. So 35. How many 5 is there? 35 is 5 sevens. So 1 5 is there. Okay, now 30, 5 6 1 5 is there. 25, how many 5s are there? 2 5s are there. 20, how many 5s are there? 1 5 is there. 15, how many 5 is there? 1. 10, how many 5 is there? 1. 5, how many 5 is there? 1. So if you count number of zeros, so 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8
zeros.
So 8 zeros will be there. So 37 factorial will end with 8 zeros.
Wait, how is the 25 2? Is it just
So
because
25 is 5 square, no?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
5 is 5 square. So 2 5s are there. So you just need to count, like when you are writing 37 factorial, so 37 factorial 37 into 36 into 35 into 34 into 33, like this you are doing. Now
Yeah.
you know that here 2 will come. You know that here 2 will come. So after every alternate number, you know that 2 is there. So if you break them in their prime factors, you know that 2 will come.
Yeah.
You know that 2 will come. So the objective here is to not to run behind 2, because the 5, when you talk about zeros will come when 5 is multiplying with 2. So you get a 0 when 5 is multiplying with 2. So you need to figure out how many 5s are multiplying with 2. So they are abundance of 2. So you just need to count how many 5s are there.
Yeah.
If you can count how many 5s are there, you can easily get how many zeros are there. So that is the one thing. Now you need to understand what zeros I'm talking about. Those zeros are basically, we call them the trailing zeros. So the zeros I'm talking about, we call them trailing zeros. So when I talk about trailing zeros, like you need to understand, like you know that 8 factorial is 40320. This is 8 factorial.
Correct.
So here this trailing zeros, what I'm talking about this 0. So I'm not talking about this 0. I'm not counting how many zeros are there. I'm counting.
So this is N0?
Yeah. So it means once the digit got over, then the number after the digit, the number will have certain zeros. And those zeros are being formed by multiplying 2 with 5. So I'm counting how many those zeros are there. You understand?
Okay. So it's how many times you multiply it by 5?
Yeah, so 8 factorial, so 8 factorial is 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So how many zeros are there? So
1.
Zeros are the 1 0. Because there's only 1 5 which can multiply with any number of 2. So here doesn't matter how many 2's are there. What matters is that how many 5's are there. So you just need to run behind 5.
So if you did like 16 factorial, that'd be 3 or 2?
So if I 16 factorial, 3 zeros.
3, okay.
16 factorial, 3 0, because 1 0 will come because of 15, 1 10, 1 5.
Yeah.
So that is the one way you can do. Otherwise, there's a shortcut formula is there. I'll tell you the shortcut formula. So like if I ask you that 100 factorial end with how many zeros? 100 factorial end with how many zeros? If I ask you 100 factorial end with how many zeros? So there you cannot count. You cannot write 100, 95, 90. You can do that, but it would be very time consuming. 85, 80, then 75, 70 like this, then 65, 60, then 55 like this. You'll go till 5, and then you'll count at every time how many 5's are coming. That is the one way to do that. Other way to do that, the shortcut formula is that to divide the whatever is your n factorial, divide the n by 5.
So, okay, so just
whatever is your n factorial, divide the n of that by 5. So you get a quotient. So you get a quotient. Now whatever the quotient you get, divide this quotient again by 5. whatever the quotient, this is a shortcut formula. So what quotient you get, divide this quotient again by 5.
4. Okay.
So now again, whatever the quotient you get, divide this again by 5. Fine. So you don't need to care about what is a remainder. You just need to focus on the quotient. Now what you do, add all the quotients.
Oh, okay. So
All
then,
the quotients. So you get the total number of zeros.
okay. Yeah.
So the n factorial ending with how many zeros? So you can easily understand that part. Okay. Now if
So,
yeah.
if you did like 25, you would get 5. So it's
So
6.
25. Yeah. So 25 is 6.
6. Okay.
Is 25. If you divide 25 by 5, you get 5. Again divide 5 by 5, you get 1. So the total number 0 is 6. So
Okay.
25, 6 zeros, because from 25 to, from 21, from 15, 1,
Yeah.
10, 1, from 5, 1. If you count, you will get the sum as 6. So like we need to understand this part. Now like if I ask you 100 factorial into 100 factorial, so how many zeros? If I ask you 100 factorial to 100 factorial, how many zeros? So if I ask you 100 factorial, so you know that 100 factorial 24 zeros are there. Similarly, 100 factorial you have 24 zeros. So 100 into 100 factorial, you'll have total 48 zeros. So you know that this, when the base is same, that the product got power get.
Correct. We can. Yeah.
Yeah. So normally the student get confused, So you need to keep this line. So with this, you can count the number of trailing zeros. You can count the number of trailing zeros here. So that would be something which is important to look into. Now going further, like if I ask you, going further, if I ask you like what is the unit digit? If I ask you what is the unit digit, of, if you add 0 factorial plus 1 factorial plus 2 factorial plus 3 factorial till 100 factorial. So if I ask you what is the unit digit, if I ask you what is the unit digit, if you add 0 factorial plus 1 factorial plus 2 factorial like this till 100 factorial, so what is a unit digit? So you know that 0 factorial will end with 1. You know that 1 factorial will end with 1. You know that 2 factorial will end with 2. You know that 3 factorial will end with 6. You know that 4 factorial will end with 4, means 24, means 4.
Yeah.
And just focus on unit digit. Now from 5 factorial, all the number will end with 0.
0. Correct. Yeah.
So if I want the unit digit of these numbers, so for me,
you just add the first 4.
Yeah.
5.
For me, it doesn't matter. For me, it doesn't matter which is this. So for me, it doesn't matter which is this. So for me, it doesn't matter which is this factorial, because from 5 factorial, all the number are ending with 0.
Yeah.
The unit digit depends on these many digits. So the unit digit depends on these many digits, because from 5 factorial, all the end numbers are ending with 0. So if I want the unit digit, I just need to focus on the unit digit of the number which are before 5 factorial. So if I do sum of them, so I'll get the unit digit of them as 4.
4. Yeah.
So 6,
because it's 14.
and then 12 plus 13, 14. And plus, because from 5 factorial, all the number are ending with 0. So those are not my point of concern. So my point of concern is only the digit from 0 factorial to 4 factorial.
Yeah.
So those digits are basically the point of concern for me. Before them, other digits are not at all. I should need to look into that.
Yes.
You understood this, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Now, going further on the concept of factorials and all, now, if you know that 8 factorial is 40320. Fine. So if I ask you what is the last non-zero digit, what is the last non-zero digit of 8 factorial? If I'm asking you what is the last non-zero digit of 8 factorial, means last non-zero digit means I'm talking about this digit.
Hmm. Oh, okay.
So
Then the next one that's not zero, right?
yeah. So the next one to the zero, like imagine from zero the ocean starts, and in that is the ocean of zeros. So before that, what is the digit? So what is that is called last non-zero digit. So if I'm
Hmm.
asking you what is the last non-zero digit of any factorial? So if I'm asking you that, like you can remember the formula for the last non-zero digit, for the last non-zero digit of n factorial, you can apply the formula that you need to express the number in the form of 5a plus b. So whenever you want
Yeah.
the last non-zero digit of n factorial, you need to express the number n in the form of 5a plus b, where what is a is the quotient when the number is divided by 5, and b is the remainder when the number is divided by 5. So if I'm asking you for 8 factorial, so you need to express this number in the form of, if you're dividing this number by 5, so you need to write that number in the form of 5a plus b. So you can
Hmm.
write that number in the form of 5a plus b. So for 8 factorial, I can write 8 as 5 into 1 plus 3.
Yeah. Correct.
Now,
Oh, it's Oh, okay. Well, sorry. What?
so the formula for this, so the formula for the last non-zero digit is formula for last non-zero digit, the formula for that is 2 to the power a into a factorial into b factorial. This is the
Hmm.
formula. This is the formula for the last non-zero digit. So what is A? This is your A. What is B? This is your B. So the for the last non-zero digit of 8 factorial, last non-zero digit of 8 factorial, last non-zero digit of 8 factorial is 2 to the power 1 into 1 factorial into 3 factorial. So
Yeah.
2 to the power 1 is 2, 1 factorial is 1, 3 factorial is 2. So if you multiply them, you get the unit digit as 2.
Yes. Correct.
So this is the formula which you can use to find the last non-zero digit of any n factorial. Any n factorial, if you see, you can do it and you'll get the answer very easy.
Hmm. So, say like All right. Let me see if I let me try it and then I'll let you know. One sec.
Mhm.
So I'll try with like 300. Well, what number should I try this with?
So you can try any number. You tell me the number, I'll tell you the answer.
Okay, so maybe like 456.
456 factorial like we want. So this, if you try with calculator also, calculator will also not tell you the answer. Okay, so I'll
Yeah.
tell you how to do that. So if I ask you what is the last non-zero digit, what is the last non-zero digit of 456 factorial? So,
Hmm.
so for this, what you do, you express the n, you will express the n in the form of 5a plus b. So means you write the number 456. If you divide this number by 5, what is the quotient? So the quotient would be 91
Yeah. Hmm.
and the remainder would be 1.
Yes.
So now what you need to do, so the last non-zero digit, so the last non-zero digit of 456 factorial is 2 to the power 91 into 91 factorial into 1 factorial
Yeah. Okay.
to 1 factorial. Now the thing comes, then I now mind, the thing comes that what is the value of 2 to the power 91. So we are not bothered about what is the value of 2 to the power 91. What we
Hmm.
are bothered about, we are bothered about the unit digit. So
Yeah.
we are bothered about what is the unit digit of 2 to the power 91. Are you with me? So we are interested to know what is the unit digit of 2 to the power 91. So
Yes.
for that we can remember one thing. There's something called cyclicity. There's something called cyclicity. So we can remember 2 to the power 1 is 2. Then 2 to the power 2 is 4.
Yeah.
Then 2 to the power 3 is 8. Then 2 to the power 4 is 16. Then 2 to the power 5 is 32. Then 2 to the power 6 is 64. Then 2 to the power 7 is 128. 2 to the power 8 is 256. I hope you understanding what is happening. 2 to the power 9 is 512. 2 to the
Oh, they're all the same.
Yeah, so 2 to the power 10 is 1024. 2 to the power 11 is 2048. 2 to the power 12 is 4096. So if you notice that after 4 power, the same powers are repeating. The same values are repeating. So what you need to do, if you understand this, so you just need to break that number, whatever 2 to the power 91, you just need to break that number in the multiple of 4.
Yeah.
You break the power in the multiple of 4. So if you break the power in the multiple of 4, you understand all the power of 2 which are multiple of 4, they will give you the unit digit called 6.
Yeah.
So then you can write the 2 to the power 88 is 6 and 2 to the power 3 is 8. You know that 2 to the power 3. So 2 to the power 91 is 8. So I got the unit digit of 2 to the power 91.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I just need to bother about. I'm not like calculator also will not give us the answer and all. So we need log table if we want the exact value of 2 to the power 91. So x is equal to 2 to the power 91. So then x is equal to 2 to the power 91. So log x is equal to 91 log 2. So log x is equal to 91 into log 2 is 0.3010. So log x is equal to 91 into 0.301. So that is 301 and this is 9. Then this is 0, this is 27. So 91327,391 and 3 decimals are there. So 27.391. So the value of x is 10 to the power 20, 27 or 28, whatever. So this all values I need to find. So doing this and all is very difficult thing. So doing this and all very difficult thing to work on. So we are just bothered about what is the unit digit. So to 2 to the power 91, the unit digit is 8.
Yeah.
2 to the power 91, the unit digit is 8. So once I understood that 2 to the power 91 unit digit is 8, I'll substitute here 2 to the power 91. The unit digit is 8. 1 factorial is 1. And now 91 factorial. Now 91 factorial. Now what is the unit digit of 91 factorial? I don't know. You understand it?
Yeah.
So now what I need to do, I need to find the last. Now before I proceed further, I need to find the last non-zero digit. I need to find the last non-zero digit of 91 factorial.
So then you divide it by 5.
Yeah. Again, so same thing. So I'll write 91 as 5 into 18 plus 1. So the last non-zero digit of 91 factorial is 2 to the power 18 into 18 factorial into 1 factorial.
Yeah.
So 2 to the power 18 will be 4. How I got 2 to the power 18 will be 4? Because 2 to the 18 means 2 to the power 16 into 2 to the power 2.
Yeah.
And you know that 2 to the power 4 multiple will end with 6. So 6 into 4 will be 4. Now what is 18 factorial? Again, I don't know the value of 18 factorial. I don't know what is the value of 18 factorial. So I'll find last non-zero digit of 18 factorial. What is 18 factorial? So 18 is 5 into 3 plus 3.
Yes.
So the last non-zero digit of 18 factorial, so the last non-zero digit of 18 factorial is 2 to the power 3 into 3 factorial into 3 factorial.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 to the power 3 is 8 and 3 factorial is 6 and 3 factorial is 6.
Yeah.
So 18 factorial is 8 6 are 48. 18 sorry, so this is 8 6 are 48 and 8 into 6, so 8 6 are 48.
So then it'd be 8. Okay.
8. So 18 factorial will end with 8.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I talk about 91 factorial, so the 91 factorial will end with 2.
2. Yes.
Now if
Because
91 factorial is ending with 2, so I can write this as 8 into 1 into 2. So 456 factorial will end with 6.
6. Yep.
So this is the
Okay.
way how we'll do.
Yeah, it's made it so much easier now.
Uh,
Okay.
So this is the way how we do to find the last non-zero digit of n factorial. So if we work on like this way, we can do it very easily.
Mm-hmm.
You understood, right? Now, like going further, like this cyclicity, what I told you for 2, right? So this cyclicity is all this cyclicity what I told you about 2. So this cyclicity will work on when you talk about this cyclicity. So this cyclicity will work for all these digits 2, 3, 7, and 8. So they follow the power cycle of 4.
Power
So
cycle of
digit 4. So from after 4 power, the same value will repeat. So with you know about 2. I told you about 2. So you know about 2. So the same thing will work for 3 also. The same thing you will work for 3 also. So the same thing will work for 3 also. The same thing will work for 7 also. So 7 also the same thing will work. So 8 also
Oh,
same thing will work. So, so the whatever I told you for 2, that after 4 power the same values will come. The same
yeah.
thing will work for 3. The same thing will work for 7. The same thing will work for 8. You need to understand this.
Mm-hmm.
If I ask you what is 3 to the power 93, what is a unit digit?
93, so four. Um 7 times 3. Is it gonna be like 1?
No, no,
No,
no.
no, no. 3.
It will come if it multiple of 4. 93 is not a multiple of 4. 93 is an odd number.
Yeah, not a multiple of 4. I was thinking like a 3 or 7. Isn't that 8? No, no, no.
8 will not come. So only
Yeah,
only these values can come.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whenever you want know the unit digit, so you divide the power by 4. Whenever you get this, you divide this power by 4. So if you divide this power by 4, see the remainder. What remainder you will get?
1.
Divide this by power of 4. What remainder will you get? So because here the remainder is 1, so the unit digit would be 1. Unit digit would be 3. You just see
Would
the
be 3. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
so you divide that power by 4. So if you get the remainder 1, in case of 2, the answer is 2. If you get the remainder 2, the answer is 4. If you get the remainder 3, answer is 8. If you get the remainder 0, means the answer is 6. Similarly, if I ask you for 7, if you divide by 7, like if you divide by 4 and the base is 7, so if you get the remainder 1 means 7. If you get the remainder 2 means 9. you get the remainder 3 means 3. If you get remainder 0 means 1.
Yeah.
You are,
Oh, okay. So yeah, now I see.
so you divide that power by 4. Otherwise, the mathematical way is that 3 to the power 93, you should write 3 to the power 92 into 3 to the power 1. So 3 to the power 93 is 3 to the power 4 into 23 into 3 to the power 1. So it doesn't matter how many powers of 4, that doesn't matter, because 3 to the power 4k will always give you 1.
Yeah.
So then 1 into any number will give you any number. So
Yeah, correct.
this is the point what we need to understand from here. So now, so you understood the concept of factorial and all. Let's try to understand, to apply the concept of factorial. So if I ask you, like, 4 persons are there, and 4 chairs are there, and 4 chairs are there. 4 persons are there, and 4 chairs are there. So in how many ways? The 4 person can sit on 4 chairs? In how many ways 4 person can sit on 4 chairs? So if 4 persons are there and 4 chairs are there, then in how many ways the 4 person can sit on 4 chairs? So now what the point what we need to understand here is that if 4 chairs are there like this, so when the first person will come to sit, so 4 persons are there and 4 chairs are there. So when the first person will come to sit, that person can sit in any of the 4 chairs.
Yes.
So means the first person can sit in 4 ways. So the first person, if I talk about first person, so the first person can sit in 4 ways. So he can sit in any place. Now when the second person will come, when you talk about second person, so when the second person will come, now for the second person, only 3 chairs are there. So the second person can sit in any of the 3 ways.
Yeah, correct.
Now for the third person, when I talk about third person, now the third person can sit in any of the 2 ways.
2 ways.
While for the fourth person, when you talk about for the fourth person has no option. Whatever the place left, he need to sit in that place. So
Yeah.
fourth person can sit in how many ways? That is 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. That is 24. That is 4 factorial.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, just 4 factorial then.
So we cannot think about all the possible cases and all. So instead of spending our time considering all the possible cases, so we can do advanced form of counting very easily by applying factorials.
Yeah.
So if you apply factorials, then the counting will become very easy. Okay, so like that, if I ask you, like, in how many ways, if I ask you, in how many ways 4 person can sit, in how many ways 4 person can sit in 4 places, such that A and B will always sit together. Such that A and B will always sit together. So tell me the answer.
In how many ways 4 persons?
4 person can sit in 4 places, can sit on 4 places, such that A and B will always sit together.
Wouldn't this be 2 factorial then? Because 2 of them are going to be occupied.
Then
wait, so 4 persons. So there's a person A and B.
yeah, you can, yeah. So suppose 4 persons are there, A, B, C, D. Out of them, A and B will always be together.
Okay. Hmm. Isn't there just 4 ways then?
No, because A and B should be together.
Yeah.
So you need to
So then wait, so two. So A and B, there's only for A and B, there's only 2 ways, and then yeah. Wait.
together A and B can do in two ways.
Mhm.
So together A and B can. So like suppose four persons are there, A, B, C, D. I want
Yeah.
A and B to be together. I want A and B together, always together. I want
Yeah.
A and B always together. I want A and B always together. A and B always together. So think A and B, think A and B are not two separate persons. Suppose A and B is one person called X.
Yeah.
A and B are not separate person, they are one person called X. So now you have three person called X, C and D.
Hmm.
Okay, now A and B, suppose they are attached with Fevicol or something, so they are always together.
Oh, so they're gonna. Oh, okay. So
You
that makes
understand
sense.
it?
Yeah.
So now you have three person, and now the three person can sit in 3 factorial. But
Yeah.
but
Correct.
A and B can interchange their place. So this they can sit like this. So they can interchange their place. So the answer would be 3 factorial into 2 factorial.
Yeah. Correct. See, I thought A and B like they needed their own spot.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you remember this. This is very important. Now, if
Yeah.
four person, if I say four person and four places, four places, in how many ways they can sit? In how many ways? In how many ways they can sit? In how many ways they can? In how many ways they can sit? Such that A and B are never together. That A and B are never together. So when I'm asking you never together, they are never together means like total ways. If I'm asking never together means total ways minus always together.
Hmm.
So when I'm asking never together means total ways. Total ways is 4 factorial and always together is 3 factorial into 2 factorial.
Yeah.
So never together means always together, total ways minus always together.
Yeah. Correct.
That way it will give you the answer. So this is the thing. Now you know that n person, n chair, you know that n person, n person, n chair, sorry, n person, n chair, you know that total ways is n factorial. Total ways is n factorial. So this is linear arrangement. This is linear arrangement. This is called linear arrangement.
Hmm.
And if you talk about circular arrangement, if you talk about circular arrangement, so n person and n chair in circle. So n person and n chair, n person and n chair, n person and n chairs in circle. If I ask you n person and n chair in circle, so the
Hmm.
total ways will be n minus 1 factorial. So the total ways will be n minus 1 factorial. Why n minus 1 factorial in circle? Because in circle there's no left, there's no right.
Yeah.
So in circle there's no left, there's no right. So in order to when you have n person and you have n chair in a circle, so for the first person, when the first person will come to sit, for the first person all places will be identical.
Yeah.
When the first person came to sit, for the first person all places are identical. Then then when the first person go and sit, once he sit, after that you can define the place of other person with respect to this person. But for the
Yeah.
first person came to sit, all places are identical. So that's why in the case of circle we follow n minus 1 factorial.
Yeah.
So when
Correct.
we talk about circle, we always follow n minus 1 factorial. In circle, you can remember, in circle, when you are sitting in a circle, two things can happen. When you are sitting in circle, you are either facing center or you are facing outward. So when you're sitting in circle, two things can happen. You are either facing center, or you are facing outward.
Yeah.
So if you are facing center, then clockwise direction is your left to right. If you're facing center, then clockwise direction is your left to right. This clockwise direction is your left to right, and anti-clockwise direction is your from right to left.
Yeah.
You can remember this. So when you are facing center, then clockwise direction is your left side, and anti-clockwise direction is your right side. Similarly, facing outward. Similarly, if you're facing outward, then clockwise direction is your right side, and anti-clockwise direction is your left side.
Left side.
You can remember this. So in circle, whenever we talk about in circle, we follow n minus 1 factorial. We follow n minus 1 factorial. Because till that time the first person does not go and sit. All the places are identical. So once the first person sit, then only we can define the position of other persons with respect to the first person. So that we follow n minus 1 factorial. The thing is that which we need to remember always in a circle, n person, n chair in a circle, n person, n chair around a host, n person, n chair around a host is n factorial. Because if the host is sitting, now you can define the place of other person with respect to the host.
Yeah.
If host is not there, then there's a problem. If host is there, then there's a problem. But if host is there, then you can define that in a circle, n person, n chair around the host. So because host is there, so you can define left and right on the basis of host, and so the answer would be n factorial.
Oh yeah, because -1 and the host is -1.
Because host is there. So because host is there, so that's why no n minus 1. Before it was n minus 1 factorial because no one was sitting. Because no one was sitting, so when the first person went to sit, so for the first person the number of ways was only one way. So we talked about the position of other persons after the first person sit. That's why in circle we used to follow n minus 1 factorial.
Oh yeah, because there's one empty
So because one person once he sit, then only we can define the place.
Yeah.
Because till then no one was sitting, that's why we could not able to define the place.
Yeah.
So this is the thing which we need to work on when we talk about circle. Now, like imagine my name is Amit. So in how many ways can you arrange the letter of my name? That is 4 factorial.
4, yeah.
Because 4 letters are there. So in how many ways you can arrange the places like 4 percent here. This 4 factorial.
Yeah.
Similarly, if I ask you for apple, so the apple, the answer would be 5 factorial by 2 factorial. Why?
Yeah, because
2 times. Yeah, because P repeat 2 times. So duplications will happen. That thing. Now, when I talk about something like, suppose if I say mathematics. If I say mathematics. So the mathematics, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is 11 factorial. Divide by m repeat 2 times. So 2 factorial. Then a repeat 2 times. So 2 factorial. Then t repeat 2 times. So 2 factorial. And then h is not repeating, e is not repeating, I is not repeating, c is not. So this is the answer for mathematics.
Yeah, correct.
You understand? So this is important thing to understand. Now if I ask you that in how many ways can you arrange the letters, in how many ways can you arrange the letter of the word, in how many ways can you arrange the letter of the word leading such that all vowels are together. such that all vowels are together. So how will you do this?
So then E, A, and I will be together, right?
Yes.
Hmm. So it'll be. Hmm, would it be 7 factorial divided by 3 factorial?
Mm, Same logic you remember we did for A and B together. Same logic
Yeah.
apply for leading. So Li into leading. So three vowels are there. E, A, I. And then the remaining consonants are L, D, and G. So you
Hmm.
these three vowels, think these three vowels make a letter called X.
Yeah.
So suppose these three vowels are together and they made a letter called X. So now this number, now this leading has become LD and GX.
Yeah. Correct. Oh, so then there's only going to be like 5.
So 5 factorial while X is not X. So X is basically, it is 3-letter word.
Hmm.
How many ways can you arrange leading? So that would be 5 factorial into 3 factorial.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So you. Okay. So you
This is
basically
a,
just combine those, and then
yeah,
there'll
yeah,
be.
you think, yeah. Then within themselves, they can change their place. Now
Hmm.
imagine if I ask you this, that same for leading, such that all consonants are together.
Oh, I forgot. Well, what's a consonant?
Consonant means except vowels.
So everything else except those.
Everything else are called consonants.
Okay. So then this would be 4 factorial times 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 factorial times 4 factorial.
Very, very good. So 4
Okay.
factorial to 4 factorial. This is what we need to do. So you are getting the concept. So basically the same logic we are applying again and again. So
Mm.
how many ways we can do that? So if we understand, our work is done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. So this, they are together, they are not together. So this we can apply them, and ultimately we can define their places in the concept of factorials and all. How we can do them. So
Yeah. Correct.
like here for leading, if I ask you for leading, so such that I say in how many ways, in how many ways, in how many ways can you arrange, in how many ways can you arrange the letter, the word leading, letter of the word leading, such that, such that it starts and end with vowels.
Mm.
They can ask you anything, such that alternate alphabet will be vowel, anything they can ask you. So you know that
Hmm.
leading is a 7-letter word. So you know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know that leading is 7-letter word. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you know that here the vowels are E, A, I, and your consonants are, and your consonant are L, D, and G. So you
Mm.
want it start and end with vowel. So how many
Yeah.
vowels are there? 3 vowels are there. So
Hmm.
3 vowel, out of 3 vowel, any vowel can come in first place. 3 vowels
Yeah.
are there, so any vowel can come in first place. So if that vowel came in first place, now 2 vowels are left. Now out of the 2 vowel, any vowel can come in last place.
Yeah.
So now, so in the first place, any of the 3 vowel can come. So whatever the vowel came in the first place, same vowel cannot come in the last place. Now in last
Yeah.
place, any of the 2 vowel can come. So now once you are done with that, so now you have used two alphabets. Now you have used 2 alphabets, with those 2 are out of E and I.
Yes, correct.
One of the two vowel, one alphabet from E and I you have used. So one alphabet you have used out of E and I. So now how many alphabets are left? Now the alphabet left are L, D, N, G, and one of the vowel. You understand
Yeah.
it? And
Yes.
one of the vowel I don't know. So one of the vowel either E or A or I. So now five alphabets are left and five places are there. So
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five places are left and five alphabets are there. So five alphabet in five places can come in how many ways? 5 factorial way.
5 factorial.
So the total number of ways for this would be 5 factorial into 3 into 2. The answer is 6 factorial.
3 into 2. Okay, because the first one any 3 and then second one any 2.
The last one is any 2 in between
Yeah.
5 factorial. So the answer for this would be 6 factorial. You understood, right?
Because
So 5 factorial into 6. That is 6 factorial.
oh yeah, correct.
So
Because yeah, you just added on.
now the thing is that we have like here I talked about. So this is arrangement. This is arrangement. This is arrangement. Then there's a one term is there called rearrangement. Then there's a term called rearrangement. Then there's a term called rearrangement. Rearrangement, whenever I ask you rearrangement, so rearrangement basically means you will not include that letter which is given to you.
Don't include it.
Rearrangement. Rearrangement means in how many ways can you rearrange the letter of the word Amit? So in that you'll talk about all the cases except Amit.
Yeah.
So that's why -1.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm asking you in how many ways can you rearrange, except in how many ways can you rearrange the letter word apple? So there you talk about all the cases except apple.
Except the arrangement of apple.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
except that word apple, you'll talk about all the cases. So whenever you talk about rearrangement, that is nothing but whatever is your n factorial, what is the answer you get -1. Arrangement -1 is rearrangement. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So now, like suppose if I ask you this, suppose if I ask you this that this, so in how many ways can you rearrange, in how many ways can you rearrange the letter of word probability such that all vowels are together?
All vowels are together. Okay. So let me see. So it's 1, 2. Oh, okay. So this is gonna be like a combination of those. Um. Would we count Y in this one?
Sorry.
Would we count Y or no? Because like sometimes Y, or no, just no.
I'm not getting what you're saying.
Would we count Y as a vowel?
No, acha, your vowel is A, E, I, O, U.
Not sometimes Y.
Acha, I don't know, maybe in US if you use.
Oh yeah.
In India we use vowel means A, E, I, O, U. A,
Okay.
I,
Yeah, here they sometimes use
O,
Y.
U. Okay, I don't know that.
Yeah. Okay, so it'd be 3, right? And then cuz you can't use the repeating ones. Oh, I missed. Hold on 1 sec, 1 sec. Oh, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3, and then
So you can see how many vowels are there. So vowels are O, then A,
mhm.
then I, then I. These are the vowels.
Yeah.
O, A, I. These are the vowels. And if you see consonant are P, R, B, L, T, Y. These are the consonants.
Hmm.
So now you want all vowels together.
Yeah.
So make them a letter X.
Yeah.
So now this word will become P R B B L T Y X.
Yes.
So in how many ways can you arrange them? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 factorial divide by 2 factorial.
Hmm.
So only B is repeating. No, P is not, R is not, L is not. So 8 factorial into. Now X is not a X. It is 4-letter word. So in how many ways can I arrange them? 4 factorial by 2 factorial. Because I
Because
repeat.
of the two. Yeah. Hmm.
But here they are not asking us arrangement. They are asking us rearrangement. So the answer would be -1.
Okay, so this would be the full answer.
Yeah. So now if I really want to solve this, this is 40320 into this is 24. This is 2 into 2, 4 minus 1. This is 6. Now, simply just
Yeah.
write 12, 1 carry 19, and this is 2, 4 minus 1. So this is 2, 4, 1, 9, 1, 9.
Yeah. Hmm.
This is
Okay.
0,
Yeah.
then 12, then 1 carry 19, then 24. Correct.
Correct.
Hmm. So you understood.
Yes.
This was the agenda of today's class. So
Yeah.
hope you understood what all we have done. Any doubt you want to ask anything?
Um. So about the circle, like I wasn't really understanding the circle.
Circle part, like what happens now in circle? Suppose 4 chairs are there in circle.
Yeah.
So suppose you entered into the room. You entered into the room. Now 4 chairs are there. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I ask you go and sit, so you ask me where I can sit. So
Hmm.
where you can ask me where I can sit, but understand when if these chairs are like this, understand if these chairs are this, then this is left and this is right.
Yeah.
And if you entered like this, so I can tell you go and sit second to the left. I can go and tell you go and sit on the first chair from the left. Go and sit on the third chair from right. Go and sit on the middle chair. You are getting me.
Yeah.
I
Correct.
can instruct you when they are arranged in linear. When things are arranged
Yeah.
in linear manner, I can instruct you and you'll understand my instruction. But
Yeah.
problem happens if the chairs are arranged in circle, then you cannot understand my instruction because
Oh yeah, because there's
you
no
sit.
left and right.
Yeah, so all places are identical. So
Hmm.
once you go and sit here, suppose here, now whoever the second person will come, whoever would be the second person, I can tell the second person, go and sit first to the left of Dylan. You understand?
Hmm.
So the person
Yeah.
will understand this place. If I say go and sit on the second to the left of Dylan, so he or she can understand this place. Because once the first person go and sit, now you can define the places of other person. That's
Yeah.
what we use n minus 1 factorial, not n factorial.
Oh yeah. 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 Okay.
So that's why we use in circle n minus 1 factorial. So that is
Yeah.
that is
Okay.
logic.
Because we subtract the person.
Yeah. So we that's why I told you know if there's a round host, n person, n chair around host. So if I ask you n person, n chair around host, and n person, n chair around host. If I ask you n person, n chair around host, then the answer n factorial. Why? Because the host is sitting. So because host
Yeah.
is sitting, you can define the position of other person with respect to the host.
Yeah, correct.
So that's why we use n factorial here.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, now I got it.
Fine. So then we'll wind up the class. So I hope you
Okay,
understood.
sounds good.
So next, when you want Friday, India.
Next, so I picked some classes today for my college, but I have to do some more, so I won't have time to do anything tomorrow. So do you think we could take one
Tomorrow,
Sunday IST?
Sunday. Oh, great. Today's which day in India?
Today's Wednesday IST,
Wednesday.
correct?
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So we'll have on Sunday.
Sunday.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay, then they'll see you on Sunday.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye.